Welcome to Trauma Y and Crash. Today, we're going to talk about COVID vaccines. I have recently had my first dose of COVID vaccine, and I wanted to report how it went. For me, I've been very lucky. I had muscle aches and a little bit of fatigue, but that's really been the only side effects I've had. Now, the muscle aches were pretty bad, mainly in my back. But besides that, I never had a fever, no nausea, nothing like that. I was a little tired, and one day I slept. But those have been the only symptoms I've had. And I am going to be getting my next dose tomorrow. There's a lot of back and forth about the different vaccines. Which ones are good? Are any of them any good? People dying. One of the things I really want people to know is please do your research. There's a lot of good research out there. You can go to the CDC, you can go to Johns Hopkins, you can go to New England Journal. There are a lot. Mayo Clinic has some good articles. There are a lot of good true research articles out there. When you're trying to make a decision on what you want to do, as far as if you're going to make a decision to take it or not, please don't make a decision based on ignorance. And I do not mean that totally negative. What I'm saying is make sure you know what you're talking about when you try to make decisions for or against. Because, you're taking your life in your hands, truly. Look at all the data. Look at the data that you can get to help make a educated decision, no matter what your decision. Now, do I hope people get the vaccine? Yes, because I want us to get back to some sense of normalcy. Do I have concerns? Absolutely. But I don't have any more concerns with this as opposed to other new drugs that are out there that we use. Especially in the Black community, we are underrepresented as far as getting the vaccines. And I know a lot of people, even in my own family, that don't want to take them. I took my first dose, I'm gonna get my second. I think that's the biggest thing that I can say. And I can tell you, it is your decision, and you have to deal with the consequences. The other thing is, though, we as a group have to deal with the consequences if enough people aren't getting vaccinated. People are talking about how there's been some deaths, and they're linking them to the vaccines, and they're still looking into that, and that may be. But if you can only name a few people that have died from the vaccine, but a lot more people that are dying from the virus, you gotta look at it like that as well. You really have to look at what's going on. Now, in the history as far as minorities being represented, as far as healthcare and receiving healthcare, it is a very disproportionate rate of care. Our care has not been to the same level. Absolutely. I've been in this field for almost 30 years, and I do know that, and I have been a huge proponent and a fighter in trying to fix that and help that. So I am someone who has literally been on the front lines trying to make sure that everyone gets the same amount of care, and that little people don't get forgotten and minorities don't get forgotten. So I totally understand everything that people are saying and their concerns. A lot of people go back to the Tuskegee experiment. Well, I understand, and I know a lot about the Tuskegee experiment. I have relatives who lived there and dealt with all that, and yeah, absolutely horrid. It is. And you look at some of the things that were done for the sake of medicine, and there is no excuse. Treated like cattle. Absolutely. But do I feel like that can happen right now? No, not the way things are, because we're involved. We are involved in every level of the things that are going on. You know, now everyone is getting the same vaccines. I don't have a concern that they see a minority and then all of a sudden they go grab from a box over there on the one side instead of the one they've been using. I know a lot of people that do, but please look at the information, look at the studies, challenge yourself. I mean, because to truly know and be able to make a decision, you should be able to argue for and against, because then you have really looked at that issue forwards and backwards so that you can make an informed decision. So I hope that everybody makes the best decision that they can, because that's what I did. I weighed all the information and I made my personal choice, but I made it informed. You know, my concern is a lot of people in the black community especially, but in the minority communities, are making decisions with no knowledge base. And that could put our lives in danger. So hopefully, no matter what you decide, you take this message, how it's given. Please be informed. Make informed decisions, and not make, because good or bad, you might come to regret your decision. But if you regret it, knowing that you did the best you could because you made an informed choice, that's all you could do. You know, but if you just try to go with the flow, or because somebody said this, you decided to do that, and then it comes back to bite you, that's horrible. I never want to be in that position. I want to be in a position that if something happened, because of a decision that I made, I knew what the ramifications could be. So hopefully you will too.